defense today.
For the Cavaliers, they're 9-9 on the season. They get that first ACC win, snapping a 6-game losing streak. Cameron Taylor, the team leader in points. Should be a fun matchup tonight here from John Paul Jones Arena. Karen Prieto, Brandon Enterline, and Rod Creech, our 3 officials tonight. Kymora Johnson. Let's find out how she responds after a beauty of a game. She travels on the opening possession, and it goes to Pitt.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Virginia continues that momentum from that Florida State game. Although it was a road game, they're back in their home gym, JPJ, where they're able to really get the crowd involved, who's excited to see them back at home.
Yeah, the Cavaliers inside the top 5 in attendance in the ACC, and as it stands right now, they are on pace to set a program record for attendance. Here's the miss from Aislinn Malcolm, the sophomore from Pennsylvania for Pitt. And now UVA off in transition. Couple of turnovers early for Coach Mox and co.
Yeah, and this was something that Coach Mox said in that Florida State game. The emphasis was getting off to a hot start and taking care of the ball. We saw a little bit of pressure in that game. And so today we see 2 turnovers back-to-back, and that's not exactly what they want to see, but they have opportunities on defense to get it done. Yeah,
UVA led 11-1 in that game against Florida State. Starting 5 here for Pitt. Jala Jordan is in the starting 5 for just the 3rd time this season. She scored in double figures in 3 consecutive games. As Liatu King, 1, 2, 3, and 4 counts as 2.
Yeah, she got the bounce and was able to get it done, and she was wide open there at that free throw line, extended for a little bit too long. Definitely an opportunity for Virginia to get tighter up on her because she's able to knock down that shot and get it to the basket.
For the Cavaliers, Olivia McGee, London Clarkson both making their 3rd consecutive starts. Cameron Taylor misses on the inside, and now Pittsburgh zooms ahead in transition. Key focal point for both teams entering this matchup, limiting fast break opportunities for the opponent.
Oh, yeah. Pitt is going to look to get it in transition first and then get into their sets, and they're really good offensively with the variety of sets that they run, specifically for King because she's able to score in a multiple ways, but also multiple spots on the court. So they're going to be constantly moving.
King last season averaged just under 10 points per game. She's increased that mark by about 10 points. She's more efficient. She's getting more rebounds. A complete player. Late shot clock situation for Jordan. That misses. There's the offensive rebound for King. Number 2 in the ACC in rebounding, only behind Liz Kitley of Virginia Tech. Malcolm has it absolutely denied. Paris Clark on the rejection. Clark has it now. Offensive foul. Sloppy start for both teams.
Yeah, trying to be aggressive. They're trying to take good shots, but they're not making smart plays right now. But like we saw, Paris Clark not block that shot on the last time down. She was trying to be aggressive on the other end, but ended up calling up for a foul.
Clark, the sophomore from the Bronx, New York Gatorade Player of the Year a couple of years ago, moves over from Arizona after 1 year with the Wildcats. King down the baseline, unabated to the rim.
She's going to use an array of moves down there on that block on the short corner. And if you're thinking about a player that she's going up against, Cameron Taylor, someone who's often fouled early.
Olivia McGee, the response on the opposite end, and the Cavaliers on the board.
Coach Mox talked about Olivia McGee. Her ability to score for this team is going to be so important, especially in this game where all eyes are going to be on Kymora Johnson.
Oh, the fake, the layup, it's no good for Jasmine Timerson, but the stick back is there for Jordan.
We're seeing some pressure here from Pitt to answer on those made baskets. Virginia a little slow here to respond to what Pitt is doing offensively.
Panthers come in 14th out of 15 in the ACC in scoring at 65 per game, only better than Wake Forest. McGee unloads, rattles out. London Clarkson causing some disruption. It allows Taylor to go to the free throw line.
Keeping plays alive is where Virginia thrives. The ability for Clarkson to keep her hands on that ball, whether she came up with it or not, makes such a difference for Cameron Taylor to get in position for that putback.
Cavaliers, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. Big win over FSU. First win in Tallahassee in over a decade. multiple contributors for UVA. Cameron Taylor, who you see on screen right now, leads the team in scoring, but only had 11 in that game, and yet UVA put up 91.
That's what happens when your freshman guard gets hot and she gets swaggy. She came out with a fire about her, and we asked Coach Mons, what was in her eyes? What was in Kymora Johnson's, mind? What was going through her mind? And she said, those are the games where you just shoot, you make one, you make two, you make three, and you don't stop. And so that was Kymora Johnson's motive. But for Cameron Taylor, she's able to do things without having to score, and I think that's why she is such an impactful player.
And the consummate teammate, right? Because she understands it's all about the team effort. She was in foul trouble, not only in the game against FSU, but the previous game against Notre Dame, and yet they competed in that game against the Irish.
Yep, other players stepping up to the call when it's needed.
Jasmine Timerson, the freshman from Wexford, PA, in Allegheny County, about 20 miles away from Pitt. Jordan, the back cut, and the layup in for Marley Washenitz.
Great way to execute your offense for Pittsburgh, not taking quick shots.
Another turnover here for UVA. The Cavaliers with 4 giveaways. And, it's interesting. You go back to the game for Pitt against Syracuse. They didn't press all that much, but they're pressing the Cavaliers early, finding some offense too.
Beautiful back cut, just reading the defense, knowing that she's following you, and you just open up right to the basket. Awesome for Marley.
Both teams really cranking up the pressure defensively. Not a lot of room to breathe right now.
That's the time of the season. Every game matters in the ACC at this point, and for both of these teams, Virginia coming off of a hot win on the road, and Pittsburgh still looking for that first ACC win. There's so much opportunity left in this season, and both of these teams know that, and they're playing like that on the defensive end right now.
Hey, it's not even February as King scores again for Pitt. She's got 6.
Perfect from the floor so far from King. She is so effective going to that right hand, but she can go left as well, and I think that's what makes her so dangerous, guarding her defensively. You're not exactly sure which way she's going to go.
And Coach Verdi made it, no surprise. We spoke to him before the game, and he said that Liatu King needs to take about 17 to 25 shots per game. I don't care what the defense looks like. She needs to shoot and be aggressive.
Yeah, he's transforming a program, right? Your first year in, not going exactly how you would like it, but when you know that you have these key moments, these star players, you have to capitalize on that, and he very well is trying to make sure his players are aware of that as well.
Jordan takes and makes. What a start for Pitt, and Coach Mox needs to stop the bleeding.
King has been doing everything that Pitt needs right now. 6 points off the floor. She's just being aggressive.
Very comfortable here in Charlottesville early.
Oh, yeah. You can really see when she gets the ball in her hands on this next shot, she's surveying, looking at her options, sees that her defender is pressing up and looks to go around and is not afraid to go into 2 players. She oftentimes gets double-teamed in the ACC because they know that she is capable of scoring in a variety of ways, and that's what Virginia's been doing here tonight.
There are only 4 players in the ACC who score more than King. The names, Hidalgo, Kitley, Fair, and Latson. That's it.
Yeah, she's 3rd even in the ACC in field goal percentage with 56% from the floor. Extremely efficient because she takes smart shots.
Pitt, meanwhile, forces the 6th giveaway for UVA, and we haven't even played 6 minutes so far.
Virginia's being lackadaisical right now with the ball. Offensively, they're running their sets, but they're not aware that Pitt is actually pressing their ball pressure, making those passes harder than usual.
King holds on to it and lays it in. There was a lot of pressure swarming her, but it didn't matter.
She's so used to 2 defenders around her. It's like they must practice that way, right? For her to be so comfortable to be able to still drive through 2 defenders and make it.
Crazy. Kymora Johnson takes the 3 and sinks it. Big shot for UVA that ends the 9-0 run for Pitt.
Yeah, that has to give them a little bit of confidence right now offensively to take shots first, knowing that they can make it. Kymora Johnson just came off of an amazing night on the road where she was knocking down those long-range shots, and so for her first opportunity to be from long range and to also knock it down has to be great for her.
You've had big games in college. When you come off a huge game, does that momentum continue for you into the next game?
I think it's more of a mindset thing more than how many points you scored, right? I think Kymora Johnson is very much aware of her scoring 35 points, but it's more about how she can continue to be a leader for her team, how she can continue to be a pacemaker, right, for her team. So wanting to uphold what she brings towards the team is probably her focus over the points right now.
Yeah, Coach Mott said about Kymora, you know, she needs to come into the game with that mentality of I'm going to affect the game in so many different ways.
Yeah. Because when you get wrapped up on the points, you can get easily discouraged when that first or second shot doesn't go in.
She's on the bench right now. Alexia Smith is in for the first time, a player who started a bunch of games early in the season. King on a back down with the shot clock in single digits, hoisting the three. Malcolm, no. Rebound at Desanoyan. Pittsburgh has shown a lot of 2-3 zone to start. London Clarkson zips it. Clark elevates and nails it.
Tough shot for Paris Clark. We all know she's capable, shooting 36% from the three-point line, and a perfect lineup on the cross-court pass from London Clarkson.
Cavaliers trying to expose that perimeter defense for the Panthers. Pitt has allowed opponents to make 8.5 threes per game. How about that shimmy from Jordan? Just couldn't finish.
Yeah, she was hoping to see it go through, hit off the back of the net or back of the rim. But that was good contest there on defense.
Jillian Brown, the Northwestern transfer, shakes free and scores.
Woo! Tough basket. And the difference that we're seeing with Virginia's offense right now is that they're just making Pitt's defense move. They were only passing the ball 1 or 2 times before they were shooting it in the beginning of the first quarter.
It was a 9-0 Pitt run. Currently an 8-0 run for UVA. Cavaliers again dashing in transition, but Smith opts to settle it down. Clarkson pumps. Clarkson goes up with the left hand, misses. She thought that there would be contact, none arrived. Nobody stops King, but she misses the layup. Good late defense inside by Clarkson. Up and down we go. Smith on the whirl, and she'll go to the line.
Fancy little spin move there for Alexia Smith. But seeing Virginia go up and down in this pace here is showing you where they're most comfortable, right? When they're able to control the pace. We see them getting it ball down, being able to knock down open shots just because they're moving this Pitt defense. They're making them actually guard them, and that looked like she almost got her ankle on that one.
So Alexia Smith goes to the line. 7 for 13 on the season. Coming up at 8 Eastern on ACC Network, Deja Kelly and number 20 North Carolina hosts Miami in Chapel Hill to cap a busy night of women's basketball. Deja Kelly, by the way, is one of the hottest players in the country right now. 25 points per game over her last 4.
Oh yeah, ever since she's really entered the ACC, stepped foot on UNC's campus, she has made a name for herself on that basketball court, being such a dynamic scorer.
Virginia will see Deja Kelly in North Carolina next, coming up on Sunday here at John Paul Jones Arena. Pittsburgh hasn't scored in just under 3 minutes of action here. Still have the lead, though. Oh, nice intercept by Clark. Looked like a wide receiver on that one. Noyen makes the catch. Noyen can't get it to go.
Not able to finish that, but that Paris Clark save before going out of bounds was top 10-ish.
Yeah. She's an athlete, huh? There's Clark again with a deflection, and it nearly causes some repair work at the scorer's table.
She's all over the floor right now, defensively trying to enforce that pressure. She saw this before she even went for it and knew that her teammate, Odessa, was right behind her. Unfortunately, they weren't able to see a bucket from that play, but the intensity that Paris Clark is emphasizing on the defensive end, she's hoping that her teammates will get involved.
And even though Virginia beat Florida State, they're trying to improve their defense a bit. As King fumbles it, gets it back, and scores as the shot clock expires, but they've whistled a double dribble.
Yeah, that's what happens when you press up. Virginia began to press up in the second half of this quarter, as Pitt has been doing, right? We've seen Pitt make Virginia's offense a little disjointed, and they're able to give them some of that medicine right back.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Pittsburgh playing well. Panthers also got off to a good start in their last game against Syracuse. They had the lead at the end of the first quarter, 17-12, and that's kind of an anomaly because the Panthers have got off to some poor starts this season. Came in with a differential of -56 in the first quarter this season.
Yeah, lots of turnovers has been plaguing this program so far in this first season under Coach Verdi.
Pitt last in the ACC in turnover margin, yet Panthers winning that battle so far by 4. Still haven't scored in about 3.5 minutes.
I mean, talk about King. She's bringing the ball up, and then she's going and posting up for a play that's going to be ran to her to get the ball to most likely score.
And she also plays 35.5 minutes a game.
Oh, yeah, second in the ACC.
Coach Verdi not happy about something on the sideline. Not a lot of motion offensively as Timerson airballs it. King gets the rebound, hit the underside of the backboard. 10 seconds to go in the quarter. Another steal for Pitt. Aaron battle in the game. That goes off the hands of King. Can anybody hold on to the basketball tonight from John Paul Jones Arena? From midcourt, Brown, no.
Yeah, it looked like she saw Sam Brunel running up there, but didn't want to make an error. Once again, throwing it in transition. Her 4th 3 on the season. She's 3 for 25 coming into this game. So now knowing that she has an opportunity to be able to knock down that shot adds another layer.
Now, Coach Verdi said, look, we know what we're getting with Liatu King. Her interior play is our bread and butter, but we need players like a Washinitz, a Timerson, a Malcolm to make shots from beyond the arc.
Yeah. Everyone is looking at King, right? All the defensive players are looking to see what she's going to do. So when you get other players involved, it just opens up her game even more. Makes it easier for her. Maybe she doesn't have to go against 2 players.
Even Coach Mox for UVA, we asked her about King, and she said, look, if you're putting up 20 points per game in the ACC, I've got immense respect for you. Then you watch the film, and she's really darn good.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron Taylor, pretty good as well.
Yeah, she's like, anything you can do, I can do better. Easy put back on the left-hand side by Cameron Taylor. Quiet start to this game, but we have to assume that she is going to have a breakout point at some point in this game as she gets going.
One of the keys for her, staying on the floor. She's been in consistent foul trouble over the last handful of games. Doesn't have a foul so far, but Pitt gets an extra possession here.
Yeah, that rebound by Iodell. So aggressive there. Missed box-out opportunity for Virginia, and she takes advantage of it.
Off the cross-court pass, here's the shot, and Washinitz can't get it to go. Clark on the pullback. Gets it back from Taylor. Cavaliers 5 for 11. The problem, Pitt has taken 10 more shots because of the turnovers as Clark misfires.
Oh, yeah. They have scored 11 points off of Virginia's turnovers.
See if the Cavaliers can capitalize on this giveaway from Pitt. Taylor sets up in the post, and a lot of contact with Rapalucci Iodell.
Yeah, she knew that she got her hand in there, wasn't able to really three-quarter or front Cameron Taylor, but Cameron Taylor just in transition, getting her seal in, moving her feet early, doing the work early. That's so much about what you have to do as a center, as a post player, is doing the work before your defender can get comfortable in their stance.
You know, I think oftentimes fans watch the game and they think, oh, the post players don't have to be as conditioned as the guards. Sometimes you got to be more conditioned.
Oh, yeah, you got to run from end line to end line. And if you're Cameron Taylor, you are working, right? She works 24/7, looking for opportunities to get rebounds, looking for opportunities to post up and seal and make sure that her numbers are shown, right? Like in the post, you don't start off with the ball, so you have to demand the ball from your teammates.
And isn't it beneficial to do the work early so you don't have to do work later?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Set yourself up for success.
Jala Jordan had 5 points in the first quarter. Again, single digits in the shot clock. Pass caught by Perkins. Timer at 3. Perkins can't score. Clarkson the board.
Perkins struggling to find her shot so far. 0 of 2 so far in this game.
Taylor takes. Cameron Taylor's three-point numbers have increased recently for UVA. Normally a player that shoots around 17, 18 feet, but taking her opportunities from beyond the arc.
Yeah, Coach Mock said she's able to do it. She's just been waiting for her to do so in the game.
Malcolm's long two is off the mark. Board here for Jordan. She travels.
Yeah, she looked like she was trying to get around her teammate Iodell, who was on the floor there, and ended up moving her feet one too many times. But, man, the flexibility that Taylor's going to have in her game when she can confidently take that shot, right? You know, players are already sagging off of her when she's high out there by the three-point line, and so she's able to take them. And when she's able to confidently take them and knock them down, that's going to be a huge, huge difference maker for her.
Yeah, Cam Taylor has made 13 threes in her career. She's a fifth-year player. She's made 8 of those 13 this season.
Yeah.
Smith in a crowd. Turns it over. But gets on top of it. And now another tussle on the floor. We have now seen over 12 combined turnovers in this game. It seems like one of these two teams needs a guard to just say, let's settle things down a bit, right?
Yeah, sometimes you just move way too quick, right? Way too quick for your mind. And that's when that happens, right? You're not thinking, what am we supposed to get out of this play? What are we looking for? What is the intention here? And I think for both of these teams, they're looking to score, but they're not looking to take good shots, right? Of the few occasions that we've seen King be able to take good shots down low, Cameron Taylor be able to take good shots down low. The guard their shots.
Panthers continue in the zone. Taylor can't expose it. And an offensive rebound for Olivia McGee. Virginia comes in second in the ACC in offensive rebounding, only behind Syracuse. 3-second call on UVA. And the Cavaliers turn it over for the 8th time.
Looks like we may have something's going on with Cameron Taylor. Grabbing her knee, but it may be an ankle.
Liatu Johnson, the athletic trainer, is out to tend to star from UVA. Cam Taylor last season an all-ACC second-team selection. Well, that's the first good sign, getting back on her feet. 12th in the conference in scoring this season, inside the top 20 in rebounding. One of the best free throw shooters in the conference as well.
Yeah, she's 3rd at free throws in her free throw percentage this year. And that's always a huge bright spot for post players, always battling down low. And here we see she might have just banged knees with Jordan there.
That left foot collides with the left foot there of Jordan. So Taylor is on the bench right now. Odessa Noyen back in. King misfires, and Smith collects.
Man, Odessa Noyen got a lot of time in that FSU game early on. Was able to be effective as well.
Johnson splashes it down from three-point land.
Moving the ball, getting into your lanes. Virginia's able to capitalize there on a missed basket from Pitt in her secondary transition.
Johnson leading UVA with 29 threes made this season as Perkins tries her luck, can't answer. Smith showcasing the speed. Big collision. And 2 shots here for UVA when we return.
Good read there for Alexia Smith, just going downhill, seeing her opportunity and knocking it down with a hand in her face. Kymora Johnson is able to complete the play.
Coach Coach Amaka Aguga-Hamilton weighs here in the first 15 minutes for UVA.
Yeah, she talked about the mindset that you have to have when you are in possession of the ball, right? Not just wanting to make the best play or, right, be flashy, but to really take care of the ball and not to be lackadaisical. Tonight or today, we've really been able to see Virginia just being lackadaisical with their passes, with their rotations, trying to move the ball around, and Pitt has not been taking, they haven't been taking it.
And one of the main topics that Coach Mox has brought aware to her team is that we need to take better shots. And so to take better shots, sometimes you need to move the ball an extra pass or two. So she said that's somewhat of the reason why we're turning the ball over a little bit more, but you don't feel that's the cause tonight.
Not tonight. It seems like they're a little bit more lackadaisical against Pitt than they were in Florida State, right? And obviously the reasons could vary. The stage is different. However, that seems to be the common denominator.
The turnover differential in that game was pretty remarkable because FSU only had 3 turnovers and UVA had 19, and the Cavaliers won the game. Just shows you how well they shot against the Seminoles. McGee from the baseline. Jasmine Timerson brings it down. Nearly had it taken away by Johnson. Down low, Jordan, layup is in.
Good ball movement for Pitt there. They were able to capitalize off of a almost fumble. Virginia players were on the floor.
Ends a scoring drought of about 5.5 minutes for the Panthers.
We see Pittsburgh back in this 2-3, trying to clog up that paint a little bit more.
Smith, the runner, that drops.
Beautiful droplet in the paint. Alexia Smith being aggressive. It's not oftentimes that we see her going downhill. She's usually creating for others, but she is able to get one for herself as well.
Smith off 9 consecutive single-digit scoring games. A little bit more aggressive here early tonight. McGee is left alone. Barely grazes off the iron. And the long rebound tracked down by Perkins. The Fairfax, Virginia native. About 2 hours away from Charlottesville. Jordan takes the jumper, airballs it. And Clarkson saves it from going out of bounds.
Pitt only 1 of 10 of their last shots, really trying to just get rhythm. They're getting shots down here, but they're not able to finish them.
Nguyen does finish. First 2 points for Odessa Nguyen tonight after she tied her career high with 8 against Florida State a few days ago. And Tori Verdi wants to take a timeout.
Virginia trying to get some things going offensively, just moving the ball, getting other people involved. Odessa Nguyen is able to step up and advance this lead 23-20 by a simple inside look. Not doing too much. Nice and easy on the layup. What's making the biggest difference, both teams getting after it, trying to take away what the other likes to do. But in the paint, that seems to be where both teams have thrived.
Panthers struggling from beyond the arc. They're just 2 for 11. The shot clock did not reset, and now the Panthers give it away. Pittsburgh now with 6 turnovers.
Yeah, Coach Verdi talked about the turnovers really mounting up for his team. He said it makes it really hard for any of our plays to work, right, if we can't keep the ball in our possession.
And many of his peers have described Verdi as a wizard when it comes to drawing plays and figuring out different sets, but as you mentioned, Lauren, if you give the ball away, that never really can pan out.
Yeah, that's where he thrives. He's really been able to turn programs around through scoring, through different options offensively, by tricking even opponents and defenses to make them think that one player is going to score and allowing another one to.
Clarkson heaves up a shot, and Pittsburgh gets it back. Yeah, Coach Verdi was at UMass over the last 7 years. The last 3 seasons, the Minutewomen led the conference in scoring. Brought the team to the NCAA tournament in 2022, another A-10 regular season championship last year. Here's Saturday's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader as Georgia Tech takes on Virginia Tech in Blacksburg at 5 Eastern. Then Syracuse hosts NC State from the JMA Wireless Dome. The Orange 9-1 at the Dome this season. The only loss was against Florida State back on Tuesday. Big win for the UVA men here last night at JPJ in overtime. Timerson shakes free and scores.
Beautiful layup there for Timerson to get her first bucket of the night, taking advantage of that inside lane against this Virginia defense, looking to close out for that shot first, but wasn't able to stay up with her in that lane for the drive.
Panthers within one. McGee can't get it to go from the corner.
He's been cold since she hit that first shot early on in this game.
.16 turnovers combined. Kymora Johnson from way beyond the arc. Oh, man.
That one felt good to her. She was deep, but she had the space she needed to get it up and over the defender's hands. Beautiful looking shot for Kymora Johnson. She's 3 from 3 from the floor and 3 from 3 from long range tonight.
I'd say she's confident off that 35-point performance on Sunday.
It does something to you.
Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of emotion tonight. You get the big 3 from Johnson, then King draws the foul, slaps the floor. I'd imagine both teams recognize where they are in the standings. They can see that they're near one another, and this one kind of means a little bit extra in that regard.
Yeah, especially when you share some of the same tendencies, right, in regards to rebounding, in regards to turning the ball over, and even scoring off of your opponent's turnovers as well, right? They see a lot of similarities in one another, and when you are a team like Pitt, who hasn't gotten their first win in ACC play, every game you are hungry for a win, and that's the emotion that I can see King having, specifically a player who has really led this program for this entire first year under Tori Birdie.
Well, for King, that's just her first point here in the second quarter after she had 8 in the first. Timer down to 1. Johnson doesn't score. And that'll do it for the opening 20 minutes here from John Paul Jones Arena.
We saw in FSU, and the biggest part for her, but also Virginia, is going to be trying to mimic that mindset that they had, even when the ball's not going through the net.
Johnson made 3 of the 4 3-pointers for UVA in the first 20 minutes. Yeah, UVA faced adversity in its last game against Florida State, gave up an early 11-1 lead, but responded and won the game. We'll find out how they respond here in the second half against Pitt, as the first shot of the third quarter goes in for Aislinn Malcolm.
And this Pitt team is not going to lay down. They have a history of coming to Virginia, coming to the University of Virginia, and getting that first win. They did so last season against Virginia, and they're looking to do something similar here again.
Yeah, certainly a different team. They only have 4 returners from last year. Coach Birdie in his first season. But yeah, the Panthers beat the Cavaliers last season by 9. Pitt started the year 0-11, and they're in a similar situation right now, 0 for their first 6 in the conference. Pitt has shown zone much of the game as Johnson misses the 3. She's now missed, and it gives the ball back to the Panthers. Jala Jordan's 3 is good, and Pitt gets the lead.
Nice finish there. Nice shot, I should say, from Jala Jordan. Not usually a huge 3-point shooter, but able to knock it down. Shooting about 24 from behind the arc.
Now 4 consecutive games in double figures for Jordan. Transfer from, well, West Virginia, Auburn, and Seton Hall. Her 4th different stop in college.
And her presence is also being felt right there in the paint, able to knock it down with a quick layup. She's just being efficient right now. All eyes may be on King, but she's like, I can do that too. I can knock down a 3 and get a layup with no defense. Easiest shot on the court. Jordan able to help her team out to get the lead going into this timeout, 30-26.
For Pitt, a lot of turnovers so far. Virginia has struggled to defend the paint against Pitt.
Yes, and that's new. That's something that Virginia usually does, right? They usually dominate the paint, but Pitt has been doing so based off of what Jordan has been doing, as well as King getting into that paint, asserting her presence, and also just staying busy, moving, constantly being alert and ready to receive the ball whenever a guard has it.
Jala Jordan has scored the last 5 for Pitt. She's up to 12 to lead everybody playing in this game. After the timeout from Coach Mox, a 3 from Jillian Brown is no good. And the rebound for guess who? Jala Jordan.
That's her 5th rebound of the night. Again, being in the right place at the right time, making sure that she is available for her team tonight is everything that she's been doing.
This is some sort of run right now for the Panthers. Brown left alone, hesitates, decides not to take the shot. Johnson does. The runner is too much. Rebound for King. She got poked in the eye. The play continues.
Yeah, we're sitting in a very quiet John Paul Jones arena right now. You can hear the fans telling Brown there to shoot the ball, remain aggressive, as King is going to do here.
This is the layup, and then Sam Brunel into the game commits the foul. Well, what's UVA not doing right now that they could be doing?
Yeah, they're letting Pitt control the pace right now. Pitt's getting anything that they want, any look that they would like at the basket. Virginia has to assert themselves. Offensively, they have to go north and south rather than east and west. They have to not look off wide open shots, even though she might have just missed, right, the previous shot. She has to be confident and knock that shot down the next time she gets it. Brown, I'm talking about.
Jillian Brown certainly capable from beyond the arc. She's made about 63s in her collegiate career. And that one doesn't go for King. And it's a 7-point lead for Pitt.
And, you know, we've talked about the reason why Virginia may be turning the ball over. That also happens when you're not asserting yourself and you're being hesitant and you're passing up shots.
There's turnover number 11. But UVA gets it back. We've seen that multiple times tonight where one turnover occurs and then the team that's the recipient of that turnover just gives it right back. Strong hands, that's what's required tonight. Sam Brunel, big-time three-point threat misses. There's the offensive rebound for Brown. Well, Coach Mox said we need Kymora Johnson to take control of games. See if she can do it here. Kaden Lawson in. Her 3 is up, no. And we'll stay right here.
Another opportunity for Virginia. We saw Jillian Brown save it in that exact same position off of a missed shot. And you heard the crowd get involved. I'm learning that this crowd really likes effort, right? When we see players giving out effort or beating their opponents to the basketball is where they're going to rally and get behind you.
Kaden Lawson called for an offensive foul before the inbound. Yeah, Coach Mox has said repeatedly throughout her tenure here, you don't play for me if you don't work hard. Malcolm, too strong. Oh, man. Jala Jordan has 14 points and 6 rebounds.
Guess who? Right in the spot that she needs to be in. The ball landed right in her hands off of a rebound, and she just puts it up. Nobody's boxing her out. She just going as she pleases on this court right now.
Now, she had a 23-point game earlier this season against Lehigh. So she can certainly play. She moves over from Seton Hall. Back-to-back turnovers yet again. Brunel runs the floor, misses the layup.
One of those quarters, Corey, those third quarters is when Virginia is not able to really capitalize off of the opportunities that they're getting, they're taking even.
Now King can't keep the pivot foot. Did you have a least favorite quarter to play in?
I don't think I did. I don't think I did. In regards to nerves, maybe you feel the most nerves in the first couple minutes of the first quarter. But, you know, in the third quarter, that's usually when you get a little spark. But maybe overtime, right? Because you have a limited amount of time. There's more pressure. But even then, you just allow your body to just take over, and you just run off of fumes at that point.
Yeah. UVA still scoreless here in the third quarter. We're about midway in. And Kymora Johnson called for a foul. Well, that's a good sign for UVA. Back in the second quarter, Cam Taylor collided with Jala Jordan, the legs. Taylor's on the bench. You can see her left knee is wrapped up.
And it looks like she may be out for the rest of this game. When you bring out the ice, it's usually no warming that up.
Liatu Johnson, the athletic trainer, doing the work. Jala Jordan, too much of a line drive on that one. Clark going to the line.
Yeah, you get the sense that this is the time for Virginia to start playing fast. Seems like Kymora Johnson and Paris Clark were in alignment in that one to try to get something going for this Virginia offense.
Recent success. They haven't had a winning season since 2015, but he certainly knows how to turn around programs, whether it was at Eastern Michigan for 4 years or at UMass for 7. He brings teams to the postseason.
Yeah, turning losing programs, right? Programs that hadn't had a winning percentage average for years, right? And then being able to make a drastic change, immediate impact. And so that's what he's trying to do here at Pitt, right? Turn this program around. And I was talking with their SID and Louis, and he was telling us about the culture, right? He's really instilling this firm culture, wanting the players to really buy in, and they're doing that because they see how serious of a coach he is, but also his passion for the game of basketball and wanting to play it the right way.
We found out before the game that Coach Verdi has a scoring system that determines starters. So it's not like it's a game-by-game, we're going to feel out the opponent and put out the 5 we think. It's about how you perform in practice, and if you have the most points, you're in the top 5, you're going to start.
Productivity, that's what he's about. As we see Virginia go into a zone here.
Why do you think they're doing that?
Get the points out the paint. Pitt has 22 points in the paint right now. Their focus right now is just getting the ball into the paint, whether that's through drives, whether that's through passing, and second chance points, right?
Yeah, it certainly seemed like the Panthers have controlled the pace. Obviously here in the second half, Johnson can't get the 3 to go, and then Clark tips it out of bounds, but took another deflection, so it stays with UVA. Cavaliers without a field goal here in the third quarter. They're getting outscored 12-1 since halftime.
Yeah, both teams on a little bit of a scoring drought right now as they look to wipe up some sweat there, but it's going to start with Kymora Johnson. I get the sense that throughout this season, we've kind of seen things shift from Cameron Taylor being the one that turns it on for this team. And we've seen that just through times where she's been in foul trouble, where Kymora Johnson coming in really makes the difference for their pace and the way that they're running their offenses, the different looks that they're getting. Ooh.
Katie Pauley just into the game for the first time with Taylor Lauterbach, the 6'7" center. So Coach Mox going deep into her bench right now to find a solution.
And sometimes that's what it takes. We talked about Odessa Noyan coming in so early in that FSU game. Sometimes you just need a different look. You need a different perspective. Those who are sitting on the bench are able to see something a little bit different.
And one of the members of the Cavaliers team on the bench right now, if you're just joining us, Cam Taylor, who was injured back in the second quarter after she was involved in a collision with the lower body. King travels. Panthers give it away for the 10th time. Virginia with 13 turnovers.
Boy, I tell you, that presence standing in the middle, 6'7", Taylor Lauterbach is going to make a difference for King right now, as we just saw pick up the travel there.
And Lauterbach in for the first time. And her numbers, though, in conference play in terms of minutes have increased. She's played 44 minutes over the last 6. As now Virginia will have to walk back on defense.
Yeah, Taylor Lauterbach trying to get some real estate in that paint. Then they're a little bit too long for the referee's liking.
Harley Washington's. No dice, and then a loose ball foul on UVA. London Clarkson looks perplexed, but the whistle is on her.
Yeah, Aldo ended up on the ground there, so I'm not exactly sure how it would be on her.
Oh, so they have called it here on Pitt.
Okay.
Karen Prito, Brandon Enterline, and Rod Creech coming together. So it's on Rappalucci Ayadel. That's her second.
I mean, definitely physical on both ends, but I think I might have peeped a wraparound by Clarkson.
You know, the wrestling season is kicking up. Katie Pauley unloads. No. Oh, Stein for the rebound. Clark. Lauterbach gets it. Pauley fakes, twirls, goes up, and scores. And Virginia finally has a field goal made here in the third quarter.
A nice little down-low move by Katie Pauley. She's known for shooting the three, but was able to get a nice little drop step down there in the paint.
First points for Katie Pauley since December the 21st against Fordham. Virginia in the zone. Ayadel cross court. Perkins takes. In and out. Lauterbach got it.
That's the shot that Pitt was looking for. Overloading on one side with that zone and allowing their shooter to knock it down, but she didn't that time.
Odessa Noyen misses. That would have brought the house down. Noyen 2 for 3 on threes entering play tonight. Freshman from Sweden. At the high post, King administers. Timerson. Oh, air ball. Nice work underneath from Ayadel. Crashing to the paint. And free throws now for Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm has a chance here to end this scoring drought that Pitt has been going on for about 4 minutes now, a little over 4 minutes, just trying to see the ball go through the net, and it's not like they're not getting good shots. We've seen Perkins take a wide open three on one end, Timerson take a three here, but just not able to connect right now for this Pitt offense, and I think it's kind of the problem that Virginia was having earlier. They're not moving the Virginia zone enough.
Well, speaking of wrestling, we talked about that a couple of minutes ago. ACC Friday night wrestling duels are back for the next 5 weeks. We'll have a conference matchup on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Tomorrow night, it's conference opening night with number 8 NC State and number 19 Pittsburgh at Fitzgerald Fieldhouse. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. I don't think London Clarkson will be involved in that. About 45 to go here in the third quarter. Step back. Clark. Oh, yeah.
Gets the bounce to go. 6 points for Clark. So far in this game, we've seen her aggressiveness and her tenacity on defense, and now she's making things happen on the other end.
6 points now for Clark. Here's the three from Malcolm. Swish.
Woo! Tough shot there for Malcolm with Odessa Noyen running right at her.
Another giveaway. Perkins long two. Yes!
Pitt coming alive right now. They are trying to make some distance here as they go up 40-31 over Virginia on their home court.
Pauley can't answer. And a foul on Lauterbach. 6-0 run for Pittsburgh. Crowd disgruntled. Tori Verdi is absolutely pumped up.
I mean, think about it. Pitt just went about 4 minutes without a bucket. And then they're able to get to the free throw line, knock down some free throws, and it leads them to go on a 6-0 run in less than 30 seconds. It's just the intentionality that they have on offense to make better shots, take better shots.
In terms of men's basketball, we've got a Saturday ACC Network lineup for you, a doubleheader. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech over at Castle Coliseum at 5 Eastern. And it's NC State visiting Syracuse at the JMA Wireless Dome coming up at 7. 12-point hole for UVA. Clark asserts herself in the paint. Can't get the roll. And now a travel on King. She could never secure the ball.
Nice take there for Clark. Trying to push pace here. Not able to see it through. He's 2 of 5 from tonight.
Nobody for the Cavaliers yet in double figures. Johnson had 9 at halftime. She still has 9. Hawley races. Oh, goes behind the back, but it doesn't pay off. And now Perkins is running the floor, bolts ahead, and scores.
And Pitt has been doing that all night, taking advantage of the turnovers. That's 19 points off of turnovers for Pittsburgh.
And in UVA's last game, Florida State had 23 points off turnovers.
Post really going to work down there in the paint, battling. We see Jordan come up with the foul there against London Clarkson, who's trying to assert herself there on the block.
You know, Coach Mox yesterday, she discussed how her team doesn't necessarily have one voice, one leader. In a positive way, this team has multiple people who speak up. Where does that leadership come into play right now? You're down by 14 points at home.
Yeah, you need one voice, right? You can't have everyone talking at the same time, everyone trying to assert themselves at the same time vocally, right? You have to be on one accord. And so when you have one leader, it's easier to do that and get behind that one person rather than trying to figure out who's right in what situation in the middle of the game.
UVA trying to get another stop to end this third quarter. 22-6. The edge for Pitt after halftime. High-low pass. Jordan, layup, no. Stick back in for King at the horn. Pittsburgh plus 18 in the third quarter.
Usually does. We've seen Marley be able to knock down a three, as well as Aislinn. Everyone is getting a piece of the pie for this Pitt team, taking advantage of that open gap that is in Virginia's defense.
Pitt scored 23 points in the first half, 24 in the last 10 minutes. UVA gave it away 7 times in the third quarter, and the Panthers again on offense. There are the numbers. Striking.
I mean, it makes a difference when your best player goes out, right? Like, she's leading this team in scoring, so we can obviously call her maybe the best player in air quotes in that regard, but it's also the way that she plays. We talk about not having a leader vocally lead this Virginia team, but it's also by the way that you show up for 40 minutes, and Cameron Taylor is a player in a white jersey who plays hard for 40 minutes.
On the wraparound pass, Brown down low. Clarkson, the pump fake, no. Caden Lawson gets the offensive rebound. Smith back to the perimeter. Lawson needs it. No. Rebound King. Liatu King with 13 points and 13 rebounds. Her 20th career double-double, 11th this season.
I mean, she almost averages a double-double, right? With the 19.7 points per game and 9 rebounds per game.
Second in the conference in bounds, only behind Liz Kitley. Brown loses the ball. She gets it back, and now she travels. 18 crippling turnovers for UVA.
Energy is draining right now, this Virginia team. You can tell that their energy is low. Someone or something needs to get this team to turn around right now on their home court, coming off of a fiery upset.
Well, some full court press. Gets the turnover. The miss on the runner there for Clark. Johnson's pass deflects off a couple of ankles. Panthers get it back. 2-on-1 ahead. Perkins with Jordan. The hesitation. Jordan's layup is in. Pitt by 17.
Finishes with some contact there. Jordan has been doing amazing all night. 14 points in this game. 16, I'm sorry. Points in this game. 7 of 15 from the floor. Talk about other players stepping up.
Well, there's a deuce for UVA, much needed. Kymora Johnson with her first points since the second quarter.
You know, and I'd have to imagine that it's hard playing a team like Pitt because they are always changing up what defensive looks they're in. You know, we saw them in zone early on in this game. They've shown us flashes of man. They've given us presses for this Virginia team, and so trying to figure out what to run is half of the battle. And
you don't have the luxury at this point, down by double figures, to really like take your time, right, and figure that out.
Yeah, you just got to play your ball.
Clark organizes here in the half court. Jordan aggressive. Johnson scoops to the corner. McGee needed that three and buries it.
Good execution there for Virginia to run their play from one end of the floor, one side of the floor to the other for a wide open three. Nice job there to really just take that baseline and be careful not stepping on a line. And Olivia McGee just lines one up. Perfect timing for this Virginia squad, looking to get back into this game.
You can see how Johnson sort of baited King. Go towards her in the paint. Got the open shooter. Clark off the turnover. The scoop layup, no. The tip in by McGee, no. There's Johnson once and twice, no. Virginia now 28% from the floor. And a timeout from Coach Birdie.
It's hard to think that that's only Paris Clark's third steal in this game, because she's been all over the floor defensively, but in this half, it's been all Pitt. 49-38.
1998. Not the same story tonight.
4 days, only 4 days, but Coach talked about it. The mindset has to remain the same, and that's what Virginia has lacked in this game. The mindset to finish plays, the mindset to prioritize possessions. And tonight, they're shooting. It is a correlation of that, because I think on defense is where they thrive and they're able to gain that confidence. But tonight, they really allowed Pitt to control the pace, and although Pitt has had their fair share of turnovers, they're able to knock down the shots when they get them, and Virginia can't say the same.
Conversely, what's impressed you, though, about Pitt's performance, especially here in the second half?
Their will, right? We've talked about their ability to knock down shots, but their will to go after rebounds, their will to continue plays even after missed shots. We saw a few minutes ago in the third quarter where there was a missed layup, but King came out of nowhere and tapped it back in. That's what you have to have within, and I think that's why this Pitt team has been exceedingly more aggressive than Virginia, because it started with King and her other teammates got on board.
King has a double-double, 13 points and 14 rebounds. Jordan with 16. And Pitt is 0-4 on the road this season. If the Panthers get the win tonight, their first road win since February 12th of last year in double overtime against Georgia Tech.
Man, and you have to imagine that they're aware of this, right? These are the things that are feeding into this hunger that we are seeing here at JPJ, and we know for sure Coach Birdie is aware and wants to begin making his team into a winning team. He talked about it in his initial press conference that this would be a team, that this will be a program that wins.
Johnson the steal and one. So hang on just one moment as the star freshman continues to enjoy the limelight.
Talk about what does it take. It takes some heart, it takes some defense, and it takes some made buckets.
14 points now for Kymora Johnson as she tries to get Virginia back from this big-time hole without her friend, her teammate, Cam Taylor, who hasn't played since the first half. Off the 35-point performance against FSU, makes the free throw, completes the three-point play, down to 8. Pitt beats the press. Jordan gets it blocked out of bounds. Kymora Johnson says no.
Big block by the 5'7" freshman, times it up just perfectly so that she doesn't get called for a foul, and is able to set their defense now with 21 left.
Mo says, let's go. Malcolm from deep, no. Rebound Johnson. Oh, she's all over the place. Her 6th rebound. Johnson speeds ahead, goes towards the rack. Scoop shot, yes!
Oh, it's go time for Johnson. She is lit up right now. Again, defense leading to their offense.
Pitt led by as many as 17. It's now down to 6. Virginia on an 11-0 run. Aggressive hedge from UVA. Timerson wheels around it, and then Lawson deflects the pass.
Virginia flying around here defensively, but Kymora Johnson gets the ball off the rim and takes it all all the way to the bucket with the lay on the left-hand side, right hand. Woo.
Remember what Coach Mott said to us before the game about her performance against FSU? She had the refuse to lose mentality.
Yes. It started with the mind frame, and right now she's looking locked in once again.
Virginia can make it a one-possession game if Lawson hits this. Tie up underneath. And the possession arrow does go to Pitt.
Clarkson fighting down there. She did not allow an arm in her chest or an arm bar to deter her from getting a jump ball there with Jordan, who was equally aggressive.
This full court press for Virginia has certainly made an impact here over the last few minutes. Scoring drought of nearly 3 minutes for Pitt. Washington delivers. Down low, Jordan, the star of the second half, and a foul on UVA.
Pitt trying to slow up this momentum that Virginia has by getting to the paint, getting in the paint and making something happen from there, where they've been so successful all night, whether it's been with a shot, layup, or kick.
A steal, but Lawson's heel was touching the baseline.
Lawson coming into this game and making her presence known. She's 0 for 3, but she has 4 rebounds so far. And nearly a steal there. You see here, she gets the ball and she puts it on the floor. Perfect timing, and her heel is very, very close to the line. I can say that for sure.
Under 5 to go here in the fourth. Cavaliers off their first ACC win of the season. Pittsburgh trying to accomplish that tonight. Jala Jordan with the timer at 5. King's been a little bit quiet offensively recently. Goes to work. Rebound for Clarkson.
Pitt has had all the momentum in the second half, and now things are turning.
Johnson on the bounce. Clark goes up. Too mighty on the layup. But 2 shots here for UVA.
There's a late call here from the ref, but Virginia's going to end up at the free throw line. Nice little hesitate move, dish off, pump fake for an opportunity at the free throw line for Paris Clark.
Lauren, how many people did Kymora Johnson just suck in?
It was about 2 to 3.
Yeah.
2 to 3. And that's what happens when you're Kymora Johnson, right? When you can get all the way to the rim, when you can pull up for a hot stop in the paint, and also knock down a three-pointer, you're going to get a lot of attention.
Down to 5. Perkins cuts away, then loses it, but it does stay with Pitt.
Nice hands there for Paris Clark. Another opportunity again. The steals number isn't increasing, but she's getting a lot of tips here in this game just by being all over the place. She might get beat here on one side of the court, but on the other end, she's going to try to get back in front of the ball and make a difference.
I don't think she's 5'8", even though she's listed as that.
Yeah, her length definitely seems to be a difference maker here on the defensive end.
King wants the back down. She swerves in and rattles it down. Coach Verdi said, we need Liatu King to have that star mentality of I want the basketball.
15 points for Liatu King tonight. And right now, late in this game, the ball is going to be in her hands if Pitt's going to end up with the win.
Paris Clark, no dice, weak side rebound, Malcolm. 3-possession lead for Pitt. And the Panthers throw it into the backcourt. Pittsburgh now with 17 turnovers, Virginia with 21.
3 minutes, 33 seconds. Virginia has to value the possession here.
The two freshmen, Johnson and McGee, the O and the Mo show. Johnson downhill. And a collision, a tie-up. And we'll stay here, UVA basketball.
Good effort there for Kymora Johnson. Didn't get it the first time, but went back into the big girl to try to fight for this 50-50 ball. Virginia's really good at getting on the floor for 50-50 balls. And we've seen that throughout this season, but I think Pitt is equally as tenacious after those 50-50 balls.
Every possession so highly contested tonight. And another one of those historical markers. Panthers haven't had a road regulation win in the ACC in 3 years. February of 21 against BC. Johnson can't connect. Pittsburgh basketball.
Virginia's going to press up here yet again. It was right around the 6-minute mark, similar to in this game when they played against Notre Dame, where they began to make some changes, some pressure changes here in this side of the court. And they're going to continue to try to do that in these final minutes of this game, where they're going to have to crawl back in order to win it.
Well, you go back to last Thursday, right? UVA was down by as many as 20 points in the third quarter against Notre Dame. Made it a 6-point game in the fourth quarter. Irish eventually prevailed by 10, but UVA showed some fight in that game. It set up well for the win against FSU back on Sunday.
Yeah, currently on a 12-2 run. But again, Pitt is being smart here, taking their time offensively.
Jordan on the hook. Jala Jordan with 18 points. Coach Hamilton takes a timeout.
She's been doing this all night long, remaining persistent in that post-up. Talk about doing your work early. She makes herself available and big against Lawson. Is just a simple hook shot to the right side where she is comfortable. She is 6 of 13 from the floor tonight.
And she's 6'2", and like you mentioned, making herself a big target down low. That helps.
Oh, yeah. There's no arm bar. There's nobody free-quartering. There's no one getting in between her and her shot right now, or all game.
Panthers trying to do something they haven't done in about a year. Win a game on the road. 0-4 this season. Tori Verde also looking for that coveted first ACC victory after moving over from UMass, 7 seasons with the Minutewomen. He said this program's a sleeping giant. He said, we are going to win. I don't know when, but we are going to win. I say that with such confidence. I know that we can win here. The lack of the success within this program has scared off many coaches, but not me. McGee along 2. Too short. King with her 15th rebound tonight. Clock certainly the friend of the Panthers. Open shooter. It's Parkins. Lawson skies for the rebound. Just over 2 to play.
Virginia's got to push and get into the paint here.
Johnson shuffles, whips it inside, and Clarkson is hammered.
Tight pass there from Kymora Johnson into Clarkson. Not allowing the defense to get a hand in that passing lane. Clarkson coming up a little bit slow, though.
Well, the good news for UVA, Cavaliers in the bonus on the next foul committed by Pitt. Clarkson asks for it, gets it, and she does go to the free throw line.
Clarkson may be able to make something happen here if she's able to knock down these free throws. She shoots about 71% from the free throw line. And as a player who's aggressive and is often at the free throw line, this could really help them.
Tonight at 10 Eastern, after our women's basketball doubleheader, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the night in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every women's game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. That's coverage you can only find in one place, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Couple of free throws good for London Clarkson. 7-point game.
Alexia Smith comes in to use some of that speed that she has defensively, getting those passing lanes, make good reads.
Smith nearly causes the turnover for Pitt. Young team for the Panthers under first-year head coach Terry Verdi, but they've maintained that composure here.
Yeah, young team and also a bunch of transfers. This Pitt team has about 5 transfers on this program.
Just as we say that, 18 turnovers for Pitt. Alexia Smith exits, Katie Pauley in. Provide the Cavaliers some shooting. Hasn't shot the ball well this season, but always one of the more potent threats, especially in practice. 90 ticks to go. Lawson sets the screen for Johnson. They pry up Pauley for the 3. Yes!
Beautiful 3 from Katie Pauley on the right side to knock it down. Now Virginia has to play some defense.
Malcolm says, you ain't playing defense against me. Under a minute to go. Johnson long tray. And the rebound for Jala Jordan.
Time is not Virginia's friend right now as Pitt is going to take their time here.
Oh, how about that execution on the full court press? They beat it with such ease. And Coach Mox is saying he got a foul. Kymora Johnson doesn't realize it, doesn't hear it. Now she does. More time off the clock. 37 to go.
Talk about opportunities to look forward to for this Virginia team. They're going to look back at this film and realize that there were so many opportunities for them to be able to have a better game offensively, right? We talk about their defense and having to assert this certain type of effort and follow the schemes that they put into play. Coach Mock is always talking about following the game plan. But offensively, the opportunities that they let go with 21 turnovers in this game. And we're looking at a Pitt team scored 55 points, but 35 of them were, or I'm sorry, 34 of them were in the paint, and 21 of them were off of turnovers.
An astronomical difference. It's paid off for the Panthers' advantage. And reviewing this play that went out of bounds. Gives each team a free timeout.
See here, might have gone off of Perkins' face.
That's exactly what Kymora Johnson is saying.
Yeah.
Call on the floor was Pittsburgh basketball.
Yeah, and it doesn't actually even look like Kymora Johnson touched the ball.
I think I'm in agreement with you. I think the first look we got showed that a bit better than the second look. So right off the cheek of Perkins, then off, I believe, her arm. But again, the officials have to be 100% sure to change the call on the floor, which was Pitt basketball. And boy, would this change things, because it's still a 2-possession game.
Yeah, this is big right here. 36 seconds. We've seen Katie Pauley come into this game, knock down a three.
Review.
Kymora Johnson
Calls reverse white ball.
3-pointers tonight.
They've awarded Virginia the basketball, so the call on the floor has changed. And the clock reads 37 seconds to go. So you've got Clark with Johnson, Pauley, Lawson, and Clarkson. No Cam Taylor, if you're just joining us, injured back in the first half. 30 ticks to go. Clarkson Surveys. She's got to go. She turns it over. Liatu King with the shot clock off. And now Johnson hugs Marley Washington.
Yeah, that turnover hurts. That turnover hurts. You come out of an extended timeout of sorts, right? An opportunity for you to draw something up, and they're not able to execute, but then they get into their secondary, and it's just a bounce pass off of a drive going the opposite way against the Pitt team who has gotten those passing lanes time and time again. You much rather even pick the ball up and come to a jump stop survey and figure out what to do then rather than trying to pass on the move.
Well, you know what? We talked about Liatu King's offense throughout the night. We haven't mentioned much of her defense. 5 steals tonight, and she entered the game the only player in the nation with 31 assists, 35 blocks, and 35 steals. Nobody else playing women's college basketball in America has those stats.
Oh, yeah. She's been all over it. Both her and Jordan have been all over it this entire game. And when we talked to Coach Verdi, he said, I need another player. I need another one of my players to step up. Because we already knew that King was going to be the it player. She was going to get her points in the paint. She was going to drive. She was going to be able to use her body to her advantage, her length to be able to score over players. But we kind of got surprised by Jala Jordan because she was only averaging about 7 points coming into this game, and she's over here knocking down threes. She's running in transition, making herself available in the paint, posting up, and she's been fighting with Virginia's post players down here on the other end as they are trying to get position as well. Both of these players showing up in big ways for this Pitt team right now.
Well, Jala Jordan has had such an interesting path in college. Starts her career at West Virginia, then 3 years at Auburn, then goes to Seton Hall. Her father, Gerald Jordan, played a couple of years of college basketball at Pitt in the 90s. And every time that Jala entered the portal, her father said, how about Pitt? Then she doesn't choose Pitt. How about Pitt? Doesn't choose Pitt. Doesn't choose Pitt. And then finally she listens and goes to Pitt. She's making quite an impact tonight.
Having career year. We talked about the 23 points that she dropped against Boston College, and this would be another high of hers with 18 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double here.
All right, 7-point deficit here for UVA. Sam Brunel is in on court, and it's a switch. How on earth did she come off the bench that cold and put it right through the cylinder?
Shooters are going to shoot, Corey. Shooters shoot. She can knock down that shot in her sleep. We saw her out here early before anyone else, right? Before shoot-around, before game. She is always one of the first players out of that locker room to just start getting shots up, get in her rhythm. And so that shot with a hand in her face is no problem for Sam Brunel.
Yeah, she was out here at about 12:45, and UVA's shoot-around did not begin until 2. She lost her spot in the starting lineup. Didn't play much against FSU, only 3 minutes off the bench. But makes a big 3 there to keep UVA's hopes alive.
Yeah, and that can deter a player, right? Lose your starting spot, but when your number's called, when your name is called, and you're able to step into this game and make an immediate impact, that's how you earn your minutes back. That's how you earn your spot back.
All right, in terms of Pitt, the Panthers as a team, just 69% at the free throw line, one of the worst markers in the ACC. So they got to get it in, get it to a good shooter. And Coach Verdi didn't get the timeout in time. He is in disbelief. 5-second count.
And Coach Verdi is upset about that. We heard him calling timeout right around the same time that the ref was calling 5 seconds. Here he calls timeout. We can't see where the ref called his 5 seconds in this replay, but he's fired up.
Now, UVA does not have any timeouts remaining, though, to advance the basketball. So a 2-possession game. Kymora Johnson has it. Game clock at 10. Johnson needs a basket. They probably need a 3. Lawson's got to go. Hucks it up, no. Rebound underneath. Liatu King polishes off a double-double. 15 points and 16 rebounds. And Tori Verdi and Pitt have their first ACC win on the season and their first road win in about a year.
Look what they were able to do.